Welcome to another edition of the Union Football Coaches Show. Kevin Ward along with the coach Kirk Frederick. Huge win last Thursday night. It was fall break, Thursday night game. 63-6 the final score. And Coach, going into the ball game, you had a lot of respect for Sand Springs, as you should have. You'd seen them on film. They had played very hard. They have some skilled people. But boy, in the first half, did your offense and defense put it together. 49-0 halftime score, and obviously it was pretty well over by then.
Well, we talked to our kids a lot about the change in the way that the week would go, you know, having fall break and having a Thursday game, and we really focused on them preparing. How do they prepare individually for a game? We did not want to upset anything that might take place. I know that, you know, sometimes guys might sleep in a little bit more. They may feel a little groggy, or they may not practice as hard, or whatever it is. We tried to remind them of all the things you've got to do to get ready for a game, whether you play on a Thursday or a Friday or school or no school. And I was real proud of our kids. They seemed like they were very sharp during pregame. And of course it was, you know, very fun to play at home and in front of a great crowd, and highlight music and all that stuff ahead of time was outstanding. And our kids came out ready to play. You told
the story on the radio coaches show, because it hadn't happened when we taped the coaches show for TV last week, but apparently on last Monday in a steady downpour, your kids were so focused during practice. There were no drop balls, no slip-ups in the kicking game. You were really excited about how they came out on that Monday ready to practice in those conditions.
Oh, last week on Monday leading up to the Sand Springs games, and you know, about as hard a rain as we've had since I've been back here at Union in 7 years, and our guys executed with great focus and probably did better on the way that they threw and you catch the ball at the beginning of practice, the snaps, the PATs, the field goals, all those things were operating like it was dry and there was no issue, and you could tell that our kids were focused and ready, and the payoff for that was I guess being ahead quite a bit at halftime.
Let's take a look at the stats. Incredible, Coach, your team putting up almost 400 yards more in offense than your opponent, the 543 total to 153. That's incredible.
Well, I think the thing that you know, if you look at the Sand Springs game, I think the thing that you'll see more than anything is you'll see some big plays on both sides of the ball. You'll see some outstanding defensive performances that we had against some of the things that Sand Springs has done, but it's all up front. Those guys up front, and when you can, get a pass rush with the three guys we have up front, or you can, create some holes that we were able to do, or even probably the unnoticed stat is the pass protection. I thought Mason Farquhar had an excellent night and really was not rushed much at all throughout the night, and when he was able to scramble for some yards. So rushing game, passing game, pretty balanced right there. And I think that in the same stats were the same in the play calls. It was about 50-50, and just an exciting night. Had a couple guys tie a couple of records. Jeffrey Mead with 3 touchdown catches tied a record, and Austin Butler with PATs. So
9.
That's quite a few PATs, but real excited about the way the kids played, and defensively the way they held a good Sand Springs quarterback in check.
Well, if you like scoring, buckle in as we get to the first half after the break, because there was a lot of it for the Union Redskins. Stay with us as we will show those highlights of that first half and that huge win 63-6 over Sand Springs when we come back on the Union Football Coaches Show.
No matter how you play, or work, or live, life sometimes throws you a curve. At Eastern Oklahoma Orthopedic Center, we help you get back to playing, working, and living your life. EOC, Tulsa's finest and most experienced provider of sports medicine care for over 30 years. Visit us at eoc.com.
Journey, man. You know how many varsity spots I got? You want to be one of those 12, you got to get better each and every day.
Are you going to look down at Shane and say, man, I could have worked a little harder. I could have pushed it just a little bit harder? Don't let that happen. You got to do it all year long.
Back on the Union Football Coaches Show, a home win for the Redskins last Thursday, 63-6 over Sand Springs, and Coach, it got started in a special way with a coin toss, and not necessarily just special for the young man there, but special for 16, 32, and 5 as well.
Without a doubt, for those guys, having Braden out there. Braden's a 5-year-old boy that we're working with Make-A-Wish and trying to receive donations to help Braden go to Disney World. You can make those donations at any home or JV game, and it was a lot of fun to have him at the game on the coin toss. But get things started off right with a big 3-and-out with our defense playing well up front, and so gets the ball to our offense on a short punt and gave us a short field, and you can see right away we go to work with the ball to Jeff Mead and Tyler Atkins with the tough run inside, and Mason is right on target with the big strike there to Will Hamilton to the outside. Comes back and makes a good decision on the ball. Sand Springs had it defended pretty well, and just being smart, trying not to force anything. Of course, he gets pressured here, and I thought that this was a great play out of all the plays on the night. Big 3rd down play. You can see the camera work here. Going to KP, to Kaylor Pearson, picking up a huge 3rd down conversion. Got us down inside the end zone, or close to the end zone there. There's KP on a little screen to the outside. We're going to run the ball, and I thought Tyler got pretty close on this one. And fortunately, as we run the play, you can see big guys like Ben Kramer punching him through the hole there, and Tyler goes in for our first score. Back to work defensively, and you can see Redskins all over the place doing a great job. And I saw a really good quote over the weekend was, you can judge the commitment of a player by how close he is to the ball at the end of the play. And I thought that was a great example of the way our defense has been playing lately, is the way that they just continue to swarm the football all over the place. And you can see that got great coverage down the field. Deion McKittrick on that one. Cody Hell is an excellent quarterback and makes a lot of great plays the way he throws the football, but defensively I thought our coverage was pretty well. Come back here as we've got the ball, we go right back to work up front. You can see Tyler always falling forward. Big block there at the end of the play there by Eric Giddings. Nice play, good read. It's good to have Carson Meyer back in at tight end as he hauls in a catch there, and then we set him up with the play action, go over the top, and Jeff Mead's double covered, but he beats both of those guys, and what a pretty ball that Mason throws. You can see the protection was there, and he gets it over the top, and nice 50-yard play there for a big score. Colton King and Sam Blankenship. Sam's back in action after nursing a knee injury and does a great job. Those two guys make a big play. You can see, again, lots of time on the play, and we've got guys running down the field in coverage. Sam Blankenship, Brandon Goff, and those guys. Of course, there's a big sack right down by the goal line there by JoJo. JoJo continues to make play. Of course, he's harassed by Winsluski, who we thought had a great game for us defensively, and Colton King. Pretty nice to be able to get the ball down there after another short punt, and we punch it in there. And you don't want to, I know if you're Sand Springs, didn't want to give us a short field, but real proud of the way our guys executed in the red zone when they had their opportunities of making it count. Tyler Atkins on the score. Big pressure underneath, and wow, what an outstanding opportunity there for a turnover, and his foot was just on the line there as Robert Thomas makes the interception, but his foot was on the line. Good call by the official on that turnover. There's Sam coming in, chasing down the field. You can see they try a double move, get a big play down the field, and it's covered well. I thought that we recovered well on that one and kept them from getting a big play. They come back to screen play, aren't able to execute that. Again, big pressure by Colton King off the edge and the rest of the D-line. Lots of gray shirts and black hats around the receivers down the field. Come back with Derek Finch. Derek Finch, senior tailback, picking up about 5 or 6 yards, doing a nice job. They cover us well down the field. Mason does a good job of getting down the field and getting some nice yardage as as his coach, we're saying, hey, get to the hash and the sideline and get over here where it's a little bit safer. You can see, obviously, he finds a crease around the edge. And much rather see that one out of Mason than the play before. Good block inside there. You can see that Ben Kramer and Josh Lovett do a nice job of creating a play. And we come back with the reverse, and you can see Ben with the block to the outside, and Mason picks up another little block. I don't know if that was a block or that just getting in the guy's way, and Kaylor Pearson on a big 20-yard reverse play for a touchdown.
2 weeks in a row now that play has scored.
2 weeks in a row. It's been a nice play for us. Come back here again, lots of big pressure inside. You can see Selton Thomas on a big play. Colby Evans continues to play well. Good pressure inside there. Really disrupts the timing on the screen play. Going to sprint out and try to get away from the pressure there. And Brandon Golphin down the field. Good coverage. Deion McKittrick underneath. They do a little quick kick on us and pin us down deep. Want to see what our offense can do. We were inside the 5. We get the ball out real quick to the outside. Jeff Mead with a nice catch, picking up a few more yards, gets us outside the 20. Come back, running the ball inside there to Tyler Atkins. Does a nice job picking up positive yardage. Mason did this 2 or 3 times on the night. I thought he did a great job there scrambling again. You see a huge hit here by Carson Meyer coming back to the play. And again, nice to see Carson back in and being involved in our offense. Have a little draw play inside, and man, what a great little move. Real subtle, though. He runs so smooth. You can see an inside-out move right there that Tyler runs, and real smooth runner, and a lot of times it's not noticed, but what an outstanding play by Tyler Atkins. Good protection, and we're able to throw it over the top and get a nice ball in there. There's obviously one of our big fans, Raleigh Heatley, the husband of Mickey Heatley. Former secretary, and getting a little high five with Jeff there in the end zone. So
nice touch.
That's right, little photo bomb there by Raleigh. So good play there to Jeff Mead. Come back with our defense. Winslewski with a lot of pressure. Man, what a hit by Sam on the screen play. Flying in from his inside backer spot, makes a great play on that one. Going down the field again. You can see they kept trying to sneak that back right down the middle, and our backers were picking it up and our safeties. Just great coverage to the outside. Our man Deion McKittrick playing great on the play there, and good coverage. It picks up a couple of penalties on this drive, which gets them down across the 50, and then they get a big play there by their wide receiver, makes a nice play. So our defense is going to be challenged right before the half. They need to try to step up and make some big plays. Robert Thomas with a huge hit there. There's Chance again. And Colby Evans, nowhere to go with the ball. You know, a lot of times when a quarterback scrambles and they're moving around the pocket that much, sometimes those defensive backs lose those receivers, and our guys really stayed home and did a great job with their coverage down the field. Again, scramble play, and our guys are still fighting, covering their guy, everybody taking care of their responsibility. Good play by Brandon Golphin down on the goal line. They get good pressure on the down, and so we have to throw an incomplete. Another great play by them on the tunnel screen to Jeff. Outstanding play. So one thing about Sand Springs, they're always going to fight you. They're always going to do everything they can from start to finish. Coach Kennard does a really nice job with those guys. Get the ball to the outside here to KP. Does a nice job of getting a few yards, getting out of bounds, and unfortunately we get called for holding. So we come back with the screen to Tyler Atkins, moving it out to midfield. Really proud of the way our offense is overcoming some penalties and doing some things to keep the drive going. Just look at the protection, great protection. We're able to hit a double move to Kaylor Pearson. I think he's been calling for that play for about 4 games now. He knows the signal to that play, and he keeps signaling it to me, and we were able to get the protection and get the play off, and proud of Kaylor and Mason on a great play. Brian Stadler continues to play well. A couple of big games for Brian on a nice tackle there to the outside. Just look at the guys up front, the way they're not just coming in and making tackles. They're coming in, stripping the ball, trying to do things to help us there. Colby comes in, makes a big play. Brian scoops it up and scores. and unfortunately, there was an inadvertent whistle. Inadvertent whistle on the play. A lot of people confused about what they were trying to call there, and I hate it because it took away a touchdown for Brian, and what a great effort on our defense. Derek Finch gets the play, and they got us for holding again, so we come back. Got to make a nice put a couple of plays together to overcome the penalty, get a boot play out to Will Hamilton, and then run the ball inside there to Derek. Derek does a great job on the draw. Big block in there by Chris Nelson. Breaks to the outside, is able to score, and a little special moment there. I'm pretty excited about that one because it's right down the sideline where his father actually works on the chain crew. So pretty neat deal, I'm sure, father-son deal to have your son score right down there, right next to you on the end zone there. So a lot of fun to see Derek Finch and a lot of those guys playing well going in.
49-0, the halftime score, and the Redskins so efficient. They were perfect on third down in the first half, and the defense was perfect as well. Sand Springs was 0 for on third down in the first half. In fact, Sand Springs would go 0 for on third down the entire game. We'll come back and take a look at the second half. Stay with us on the Union Football Coaches Show.
At Arvest, we know our customers come to us for different reasons. There are some who need banking on their time. For others, it's not when they bank, but where. Then there are those who take their banking wherever they go. From big moves to small favors, we recognize the needs of our customers, and now they've recognized us. Again, for the third year in a row, Arvest ranked highest in customer satisfaction with retail banking in the Southwest region by J.D. Power & Associates. Switch today and get the customer service you deserve, only from Arvest Bank.
Welcome back to the Union Football Coaches Show. Kevin Ward along with the coach Kirk Frederick. 49-0 at the half, and the Redskins were not done as they opened with the ball in the second half.
Excited to be able to have the ball and give our offense an opportunity to go out and try to establish some tempo in the first drive at least of the second half, and we're able to hit Will Hamilton there real quick, and nice to see him in the run of the ball. Derek Finch again. Real steady at our running back position, doing a good job. And then we're able to hit Jeff on a single coverage to the outside. And when Mason and Jeff are on the same page, it's really difficult for opposing defenses, and excited to see those guys playing well and hit them with a big score.
That's his fourth touchdown in 2 games over 50 yards.
Pretty nice. So hopefully we can continue to dial that up. Defensively, going back out, and we've made a few substitutions in some places that allow some guys to play some more reps. And of course, Selton Thomas in there at nose guard. Excited to see him in there making big plays and doing a really nice job. Defensively, still playing tough, trying to do the things that are necessary to keep us going. See a nice play inside there. There's our man Tommy Bradshaw making a nice play. We've got pressure coming there by Malon Al-Jabori. You can see, even though they've been able to move it down the field, our guys are still battling and still trying to make plays to keep them out of the end zone. They make a nice play to the inside there, and got pretty good coverage on that one by Jalen Steele, but a good throw and a good catch. Try a little pooch kick to the outside, and Kaler, you won't see that very often. Kaler Pearson trying to make a move on a guy, and they do a great job of stripping the ball out. So defensively, we're right back where we need to continue to battle and play, and just continue to fight over there with Jalen, and they continue to try to make plays on him, and he's continuing to battle. Seth Mishler, sophomore linebacker on the play to the outside there. There's DJ Henderson, senior outside backer, making a nice play. Tyrone Johnson on the pressure, flushing him out. Senior defensive end, nice play there. Of course, Alex Brown playing very well for us at inside backer, making a nice play. There's Seth Mishler on a big tackle to the inside, and also a lot of pressure inside there by Ramsey. Had a few more penalties in this game than we typically do, and not wanting to have those stall our drive, but we had a few of those, and unfortunately we'll have to clean up some of those penalties. They go back to work. They're obviously their thing was to try to get the ball, and I'm not really sure how many times they threw the ball the other night, but it seemed like it was just about every play. And of course, when you have a quarterback like that, I'd probably throw it quite a bit as well.
I think he threw 33.
33 times on the night. There's another big play by Seth to the outside. We get Joey Hayhurst the ball. He's doing a nice job running the ball inside. Zach Fisher at quarterback now. Big block in there by Krishawn Edwards, and I've got a lot of those guys coming in, kind of our number 2 unit. Javin Sanoka doing a good job at center with the snaps, and love this play right here. We had kind of a bust with a few receivers, so Zach just said, you know what, if the receivers can't line up, I'm going to run a quarterback draw. And of course, what a great block there by Hayhurst, and Zach showing quite a bit of speed there, a little bit more than what you might think he has, and goes in for a nice run. I think that was about a 50-yard run for a touchdown there for Zach Fisher.
Yeah, you about got 100 yards rushing out of your 2 quarterbacks.
That's a pretty nice night for those guys. Got good pressure there. I believe that was Selton Thomas on the pressure there. Got Bynum in there at nose guard, doing a nice job plugging his gap. Got the ball inside, and I believe that was one of our freshmen there, Shamari Brooks, in there trying to make some plays. And if I remember right, we had a pretty long drive right in here somewhere that just continued to eat a lot of clock. Sand Springs was able to make a lot of plays to extend the drive, but we also had a lot of good snaps for those defensive kids that needed that playing time.
63-6, the final score. When we come back, as the Union Football Coaches Show rolls on, we'll take a look at some great photos from Vic Kidwell as we get up close and personal. Stay with us.
In the blink of an eye, your home and belongings can be severely damaged. If this ever happens to you, call Oklahoma Disaster Restoration. We're your restoration experts. For over 20 years, we've been restoring homes and businesses damaged by disasters. Our highly trained technicians work to restore your property and refurbish your belongings in our secure Tulsa-based facility, restoring lives one disaster at a time. Call Oklahoma Disaster Restoration.
The Union U-Wear store, located on the west side of the UMAC, has everything a true Redskin fan needs to show their colors. You will find a large stock of sweatshirts, hoodies, and more. They have a wide selection of items that will keep you warm on chilly football nights. Don't forget, the U-Wear store is your home for novelty items and must-have accessories. The U-Wear store is open weekdays. Call for times.
Back on the Union Football Coaches Show, Kevin Ward along with the coach Kirk Frederick, and let's take a look at some great photos from the man himself, Vic Kidwell.
Very good. Up close and personal by Vic, and he does a great job. Spencer Shores, I'm glad we got this picture in here. 100% PATs. When you're going to tie a record by kicking 9 of them on the night, starts with Spencer Shores, and every week that guy is out there snapping on Sunday afternoons, takes a lot of pride in what he does. Sam Blankenship, talked about him in there trying to steal a tackle from somebody. Love his competitiveness. Sam is a great linebacker for us. Good picture here, Chris Nelson, Tyler Atkins, and Giddings blocking a 360 or 70-pound nose guard. Outstanding. Derek Finch and Josh Lovett there. Looks like Derek, I don't think he's stepping on the face mask there, but it sure does look like it. Kind of a cool picture. There's Brian Stadler on the scoop and score. And somewhere to the back right, you can hear an official blowing a whistle for some reason.
So it's just scoop.
Yeah, just a scoop, but he did go and score. Oh, man, what a great shot of Chris Nelson, our offensive guard, just kind of paving the way on a, that was probably a draw play where he's heading up to the linebacker, and good picture there of a couple of seniors, Kaylor Pearson and Jeff Meade. looks like we're on our goal line defense here, Selton Thomas, and you see Jansen, and you get to see a lot of guys. Probably the PAT block there, actually, because Bailey Cooper's in the picture going for the block. There's a good play we talked about with DJ Henderson, his outside backer, making a play in open field. And then, of course, you've got Bynum and Mikhail Seams, a couple of backup senior offensive linemen there with Zach Fisher. So a lot of fun to again, get to play some seniors on a home game.
I love the contrast in height between
both of them outstanding players.
Meade and
Pearson and me. That's not even fair, is it?
It's kind of like our weight.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure which is which. We'll just let the audience
decide. Let the viewers choose there.
Let's talk about Bartlesville, because Bartlesville has risen to the challenge, even though this is another one of those teams that you haven't lost to in decades. It's been close. It was Aaron Votruba, a long field goal just a few years ago to preserve a win at home against Bartlesville. They've got athletes. They can come to play. This is in Bartlesville on Friday. Tell us about the Bruins.
Well, a lot like Cody Hell last week. Feel like we've played him quite a bit with Sand Springs. Is Slade Nordic, an outstanding skill player for Bartlesville, and you just don't forget a name like that one, Slade Nordic, but an outstanding football player, makes tons of plays, whether he's playing safety on defense or wide receiver, or maybe he's carrying the ball on a zip play or some type of a sweep or special teams play. So an outstanding player, but they've got more than him. They have a new quarterback, a guy that's younger, that's a left-handed guy that does a nice job. They throw the ball around. And they're a playoff contender. I think that Bartlesville plays that pesky type of defense where they're just blitzing and bringing lots of people at you, and can create a lot of situations where you better be at the top of your game.
Kickoff at?
Be at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock again on Friday at Bartlesville. Let's talk a little bit more about your team. It seems like you've gotten everybody back now. I can't think of anyone who's not available to you.
We're really close. Obviously, there's
maybe Justin Silver.
Yeah, there's nicks and bruises and those kinds of things that are taking place, you know, from week to week, and where guys are having to play through a few things. And some guys are toughing through a few things. Some guys need to get a little bit more rest. But we feel very good about where we're at and excited about the way our team is playing. And we just want to continue to get better. I don't think we've played our best game yet, and looking forward to having 3 more district games, and excited about playing Bartlesville this week.
5-2 on the season, 4-0 in district play, and a road trip to Bartlesville to face the Bruins on Friday at 7 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Union Football Coaches Show. For the coach, Kirk Frederick, and Andy Irwin and his student production staff, I'm Kevin Ward. Thanks for tuning in.